What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. I hope you guys are doing well. We are a week away from the launch of Season 1 of Xdefiant. And it's an exciting time for the player base, because this is the first time we've had new content being added into the game. New maps, new weapons, a new faction. All of this is brand new to us. The game we've been playing since the preseason has been pretty much the same game as what we experienced during the server test sessions and the beta. Not much has changed. Sure, some patches here and there, the addition of Team Deathmatch. But when it comes to the core gameplay experience, we haven't had new factions. We haven't had an array of new weapons. We haven't had a brand new map. And that's exciting. It's an exciting time. Because now we can sit here and speculate, and I'm sure that we're going to get some information over the coming week that's going to tell us a little bit more about what Xdefiant and Ubisoft have planned for this game for Season 1. Because all we basically know is, yeah, there's new weapons coming, new map every single month, new faction, and that we're going to get a new season every 3 months. But outside of that, what's the battle pass going to look like? What kind of core changes to the overall balance of the game are going to be made? Are we going to see some faction balances? Are we going to see some weapon balancing? Or are they just going to kind of spot patch as things go along? I don't know. What we do know from some of the competition that utilizes a similar model is that they go with a big patch right at the start of the season and another big patch in the middle of the season. And for me personally, I don't love that because I like to see a game evolve a little bit more over the course of a season than just having two main patches to address some of the concerns here and there. And that's one of the things that I do have to tip my hat off to Ubisoft for and the Xdefiant development team, is they've been very adamant on making changes throughout the course of the entirety of the preseason. And I do adore the fact that they listen to feedback and they're constantly trying to learn and evolve the game to be the best it can be. And I think that's one of the things that gets me excited for Season 1, is that I look at Season 1 instead of with a little bit of dread and concern about what they might screw up or what they might miss, and instead look at it with this like hopeful optimism of how good can the game be? What kind of adjustments are they going to make? How are they going to evolve the overall experience? Because I think you guys know this, but I really love Xdefiant. I really enjoy this game. I try to be as positive as I can. That doesn't mean the game isn't flawed. The game has its issues, but I can overlook those issues because the core experience it's trying to deliver is very player focused. And it's a little bit less stagnant than some of its competitors that, to me, are just not the same as they used to be. And that fresh experience that Xdefiant is offering really allows me to look at this game a little bit more positively. Trust me, if this game had had a 15-year history, yes, some of the problems this game has, I'd be a little bit nitpicky over. But I'm willing to let it slide as I watch this game evolve over time. And that's why I think Season 1 is so crucial for this game. Because it's going to set the tone for what this game is going to deliver over the course of year one. And maybe that's some flawed thinking because they should be able to change and adapt over time. But I actually believe that a lot of what we're going to see here in Season 1 has been meticulously planned out. Yes, there's going to be different changes to challenges and to events and to mastery decisions, but the core experience that they're trying to deliver with their seasonal content drops, I believe, are already planned out. They already have an idea, an outline of what they're trying to deliver this community. And we're going to get our first look into that on July 2nd, a week away. And it's so exciting. Because this game isn't just adding new maps. It's not just adding new weapons or new modes. It's adding a new gameplay element as well with the way they operate with factions. Because the game right now has already kind of carved out a meta, right? You know what a lot of people like to use. You know, intel suits are really strong, the spider bot is really strong, and you have people like to defend the objectives with the shields. That's kind of the core gameplay experience right now. But how is the new faction, the GSK, going to affect that? Is it going to add a ripple? Is it going to be kind of forgotten about? Is it going to be the new meta? And that's what's so exciting, is we don't really know. we know the gameplay that we're experiencing right now could significantly change from this week to next week. That's what I love about this. Not to make it too much about another game, but it kind of reminds me of whenever Dead by Daylight adds new content, because whenever they add a new survivor or a new killer, it adds another layer to the overall gameplay because there's new perks that are added. There's new killer abilities if it's a killer that's being added, and it just creates more depth to the overall experience. And I feel as if that's the same type of thing that is going to happen here with Xdefiant. Is you're adding a new faction, which is going to add another layer to the gameplay, which is going to add an additional amount of depth to the overall experience. And one of the biggest downsides right now of Xdefiant is the fact that there feels like a lack of content. And I really think that adding another layer to the overall gameplay experience is going to add to the overall depth of the game and will create less of a feeling of a lack of content. So, that's me kind of trying to be as optimistic as possible. But I am very hopeful that that's the experience that many people have in this community, as I do acknowledge the fact that there are some in this community that have kind of put Xdefiant on the back burner, awaiting the launch of Season 1, seeing what is coming. And hopefully there is a distinct roadmap ahead for the plans for Season 1. We know what Year 1 looks like. What does Season 1 look like? We know the maps are going to drop one by one every single month. What else do they have planned? What else are the goals internally of this development team? And this is what makes this week so important, I think, is if they can properly communicate it and at least set the expectation of what they want to deliver, I think it will lead to a very positive response in this community. I mean, a lot of people right now in this community think that Mark Rubin and team can't really do too much wrong after the weapon XP changes. But that is a development team admitting to their own mistakes and making a significant change that benefits their community. I'm very curious to see how they have this entire plan etched out for the longevity of Xdefiant, because that's the core takeaway here. Season 1 is going to be an inside look on what they plan to do to retain players for the long haul. And to bring it back to Dead by Daylight one last time, this game has been around for a very long time, and they are able to continuously maintain a pretty popular player base, consistent player base. And they're doing their anniversary event right now, which has me playing because, of course, why wouldn't I want all of these blood points? It's a really fun time to play. They bring in some limited time modes. It's a good time for all. But those types of games seem to be very few and far between. A lot of games go into that type of process thinking that they're going to be able to deliver a live service game and have it exist for a long period of time to only fall flat on their face. For every Dead by Daylight, there's another 5 or 6 games that fail to replicate what it delivers. But constant updates and constant changes to the overall game and the meta are what keeps Dead by Daylight around, in my opinion. I came back in after 3 months. A lot changed. A couple chapters came and gone. There's new maps in the game. There's a new meta. And it takes some time to learn. But at the end of the day, you're there because the game still delivers that same core experience that sucked you in originally. But now you have all this added depth and gameplay experiences that you have to learn. So the learning curve, again, changes. And I think that's one of the key components of Xdefiant's future success is to continuously add more to the learning curve. So the game doesn't feel stagnant. So it doesn't feel as if once you've mastered it, you've mastered everything. There needs to be a little bit of a component of learning and mastering some new elements to the game. So overall, I'm pumped for Season 1. I'm optimistic for it. I'm hopeful for it. And I'm really excited to get some further insight on what the future of this game could possibly look like. But those are my thoughts on this. I'd love to hear what you think regarding Season 1 of Xdefiant. What are some major changes you want to see? What are some major content additions you'd like to have? Let me know with a comment down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.